God's unique plan for world renewal. Sixth lesson. The Supreme Father, Supreme Soul isn't omnipresent. Here, it has been mentioned that when God comes to the world, he will certainly narrate some or other new point of knowledge about something that the whole world is in confusion. He will definitely narrate such new point which the entire world wasn't aware of. In other words, the world knows something just opposite to it. That point is, when people searched for God everywhere in the world and didn't find him anywhere, they started saying, God is omnipresent. He is present in every particle. He is present in every atom. Wherever you see, there is God. In fact, a shlok from the Gita alone is enough to prove this point wrong. Tad dham paramam mam. Please refer to the meaning of shlok 6 of chapter 15 in the Gita. It means, I am a resident of that supreme abode. The most elevated book of the world is the Gita. There are maximum number of commentaries on it. One of its shlok has proved this point. A word Vibhu has been mentioned in the same Gita. People exaggerated the meaning of this word to such an extent that the very idea of God is omnipresent has spread everywhere in the world. Here, it has been explained that in reality, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul isn't omnipresent in the world. The scriptures Gita and Ramayana are also evidences for this. It is written in the Gita and the Ramayana, I come whenever there is the dominance of irreligiousness in this world. The very words, I come, prove that he wasn't present earlier. So, he has come. Otherwise, what was the need for him to come? Secondly, the Gita shlok that was mentioned to you just now definitely proves that the abode, name and acts of the Supreme Father plus Supreme Soul are the highest, and there is also the praise, Uncha Tera Dham, Uncha Tera Naam, Uncha Tera Kam. Meaning highest is your abode, highest is your name and highest is your work. When the abode, name and acts, all the three are the highest, will he sit at a higher place or at a lower place? Even in this world, a king sits on a high throne. Then, why did we place the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, who makes us into kings through Raj Yoga, in every particle? Here, it is depicted in the picture that when the sages, saints, sannyasis are carried away by emotions, they play the khartal, that is, a kind of music instrument, and say, O God, give us a glimpse. However, when they preach, they say, God is omnipresent. The soul is equal to the Supreme Soul. I am Shiv. We are the forms of the Supreme Soul. We ourselves are God. So this isn't logical. They should be firm in one point. What is this? When they start praising, they say, Oh God, give us a glimpse. Well, how will God give a glimpse to you when He Himself is sitting in you? When you yourself are the form of God. Here, it is shown that when the listeners listen to the preaching of the Guruji Maharaj, they are carried away by emotions and they say, Yes, the Supreme Soul is omnipresent. You narrated very good knowledge. And as soon as they reach home, one brother starts killing another brother. Now, didn't they see God inside their brother? How did this contradiction arise all of a sudden? Actually, every soul has different sanskars. The Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, is totally different from all of them. In the Indian tradition, the mythology of Shankaracharya is different and the mythology of Ramanujacharya is different. It is mentioned in Madhvacharya's Gita that every soul is separate and the Supreme Soul is different from them. Whereas in Shankaracharya's Gita, it is mentioned Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahm, which means whatever is seen in this world is the form of God. Madhvacharya said, each soul has different sanskars. When these souls enter a womb and take on a body, they will definitely play different parts. The part of one soul can't be similar to that of another soul. We have always been giving this example in the scriptures. All of our souls are like bubbles in the ocean. All the bubbles merge in the ocean, which means that we are a part of that ocean. We said this very thing, didn't we? But we forgot one thing, that if we are bubbles, if we are a part of the ocean, then the ocean should also have the salinity, just like the salinity contained in the handful of water taken from the ocean, shouldn't it? If we mix that handful of water again in it, that is the ocean, the quality of both remains the same. Then, why do all of us have different sanskars? How did this difference arise? And we have been explaining this difference for many births. Secondly, there is one more argument for the refutation of this belief. Did you ever wish that the existence of your soul should end forever? Does anyone wish this? If our soul merges with that supreme soul Shiv, if the handful of water is mixed with the ocean, its existence will end forever. Then, how did the saying, Kalp Kalp Lagi Prabhu Avatara, Ram incarnates whenever it is the silver age, appear in the scriptures? All the souls are eternal and immortal. That is indeed true, but it is a different topic. Their existence, sanskars, and everything are different, but the part of many births is recorded in the tape recorder of that point of light in the form of soul. Whenever a soul descends on this stage like world, it will have as many births from the beginning of the Golden Age to the end of the Iron Age as it had taken in the previous 4 ages. If it is the soul of Ram, it will be born only as Ram in every silver age. If it is the soul of the one who is called, O Krishna, complete with 16 celestial degrees, or Narayan, he will rule in the beginning of every golden age in the form of Narayan itself. In this way, it is fixed that every soul changes its cloth like body in every birth. The part of every soul repeats, as it is, after every 5,000 years. Every soul isn't equal to the Supreme Soul. The Supreme Soul Shiv is indeed always different. If he too starts coming in the cycle of birth and death, there will be no one to liberate us from the cycle. That Abhokta Supreme Soul Shiv can't be compared to us pleasure seeker souls. Abhokta meaning the one who doesn't experience pleasure. A soul can play the part of a hero, a heroine, a villain, or an ordinary soul, but no one's part is like that of the Supreme Soul Shiv. His part is unique. He doesn't come to this world again and again either. As it is written in the scriptures, Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, meaning, I come in every age. Array, had he come in every age. When the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, came in the form of Krishna at the end of the Copper Age and enabled the Mahabharat war to take place, did he come to establish the sinful Iron Age? Where is the need for him to come in every age? Even an ordinary father constructs a new house for his children when the previous house becomes old, when the old house can no longer be used. As long as the old house is usable, he has it repaired. The condition of this house-like world is also the same. The religious fathers like Abraham, Buddha, Christ, Guru Nanak and so on came at different times and repaired the world at various places. Someone came and repaired it in the Arab countries, someone repaired it in the European countries, and someone repaired it in China and Japan. But no one constructed a new house. They definitely didn't create a new world. How long will the repairing last? Those religions exert their influence for some time, and then it ends. At last, the Supreme Soul, the Father Shiv, who is the father of even the religious fathers, the father of even the fathers himself, has to descend in this world. He comes and transforms this world entirely. So, he isn't omnipresent. In fact, he enters the hero actor Arjun or Adam in a permanent way and plays the part in this world. Have you heard the name of Jesus or Christ? After all, why is he given two names? Christians believe that the name of the person who wasn't famous before was Jesus. Later, when he became famous, he was named Christ. Nobody knows the secret behind this. The Supreme Father, Supreme Soul has come and is explaining this secret. He says, when a new soul descends from above, it changes the name of the person it enters. For example, earlier the name was Narendra, later he was named Vivekanand. The same thing happened with Acharya Rajneesh too. Earlier, he was an ordinary lecturer. When a soul entered him, he was named Acharya Rajneesh. So, every soul that descends from above converts the person whom it enters and pulls him to its religion, and that root soul, the deity soul in whose body it enters, it is a soul among the 33 crore deities of Bharat itself. In this way, souls converted or transformed to other religions. Other religions have originated and flourished through the conversion of the residents of Bharat themselves. It means that the Supreme Soul Shiv can't be compared to us bhogi souls. In contrast to us souls, he is always unique. He neither experiences happiness nor sorrow. He is the one who always remains beyond happiness and sorrow. But yes, this is for sure that when he comes to this world and teaches Raj Yoga, he gives us such knowledge that we souls can attain such a stage to a greater or a lesser extent according to our spiritual effort, that even while living in this world, even while living in sorrow and happiness, our condition should be such that we don't become sorrowful at the times of sorrow and we don't become very happy at the times of happiness. In the Gita, that stage is given the name Sthit Pragya. We won't have that stage forever, but Shiv always remains in that stage. He is the Supreme Soul. Then, how are the soul and the Supreme Soul equal? How is the Supreme Soul omnipresent? The Supreme Soul Shiv is always different. Shiv can't be compared with the highest of the high three deities either. As a remembrance of these three deities, they do say, Jhanda ऊंचा रहे हमारा, विजय विश्व तिरंगा प्यारा. Vishwa Vijay karke dikhlave means let our flag be held high. Our beloved tricolor flag will be victorious over the world. It will conquer the world. But they don't know who those three cloth-like bodies are, who brought commotion in the entire world and proved themselves by gaining victory over the entire world. Actually, the cloth-like bodies are the three deities, that is, Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar themselves. The colors indicating them are also shown accordingly. The topmost saffron color is that of Shankar. It is the symbol of revolution. The white cloth in the middle is the symbol of pure, virtuous Vishnu. The green cloth below is the symbol of Brahma. Just as Gandhiji kept saying, the kingdom of Ram will come. We will bring the kingdom of Ram. But instead of that, the kingdom of Ravan came all the more. In the same way, Brahma Baba always kept crying, we will bring the kingdom of Ram. Swarg will come. Heaven will come and heaven is just about to come. Now, if the Brahma Kumari ashrams are checked, you will come to know that instead of heaven, they are becoming a horrible hell. This is why idols of Brahma are not made, temples of him are not built, and he isn't worshipped, because the so-called Brahma Kumaris themselves couldn't protect the honor of Brahma. On the other side, the temples and idols of Shankar and Vishnu are made and worshipped in the entire world today.